So hi everyone, welcome to this new series of student review series. It will be episode 3. Today we have with us Priya Patel. So she's also a master's student at University of Ottawa. And thank you so much Priya for joining in with us. So can you please let me know how did you get in University of Ottawa? Or before that, can you introduce yourself? Like where did you complete your bachelor's from? And did you have any job experience before applying or getting in here?
Yeah, so first of all, thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to share my knowledge with the students and the community, and I really appreciate that. Hi guys, I'm Priya Patel, and I'm basically from Ahmedabad, India, and currently I am living in Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. So I did my bachelor's in computer engineering from a college that is Government Engineering College. That is affiliated with the Gujarat Technological University, and I'm currently pursuing my master's in computer science at University of Ottawa, and my course is entitled with the co-op program, so I'll be preparing for co-op as well. And yes, I had 1 year and 4 months of experience in the training company. It's the ID company. So yes, basically I have a basic work experience.
Okay. I didn't know that you were from Ahmedabad. I'm also from Vadodara, by the way.
Okay.
Okay, then just question for you. Like in your batchmates, with whom you are studying right now, do they also have some work experience when they were applying there, or were they recent graduates?
So most of the students do have work experience. Like some of the students have 3 years of experience, some of have 5 years of experience, because this is a more research-based program. It's not entitled with the thesis program, but you need to do more research in your subjects. Though it's a project based, but you need to do a lot of research in your subjects. But there are some students as well that do not have their work experience, but they do have good grades, good CGPA in their bachelor's, and they have a very good IELTS score.
Yeah, that answers the question, because just like
Yes.
in your university, in my batch as well, we have few of my batchmates are in the thesis based program. They are also from they are also from FANG. Okay, the two of them are from Amazon, a few from Oracle, and then some of them are in Walmart Labs. So yeah, I think the scenario is same, that if you have work experience, it works great, and if you don't have work
Yes.
experience, just like us, we did not have that experience. I'm also a recent graduate, and you were having 1 year experience. So we think
Yeah.
like the marks or the CGPAs matter a lot when you're applying in the
Yes.
the top universities, right?
Yeah, it's not just like the CGPA, like it's a bunch of things. It's like CGPA, your IELTS score, then your OP, then how did you just processed everything, that also matters. Like if you have applied just before the deadline, that also matters. Because
Okay.
it's like first come, first serve here.
Definitely, right. You need to
Yes.
apply like whenever you see, like same was with me as well. I was continuously checking out website of every universities, like when are they starting, when are they opening
Yeah,
applications,
but
right?
that's just the opposite of my case. The deadline was 1st June,
Okay,
and I applied on 30th May.
you were close.
Yes,
You were very
but
close.
I was, yeah, but I was fortunate that I got the admit.
Congrats.
So just don't follow my thing, but it's just to be sure that if you apply earlier, you will get more chances to get
Right.
admitted.
True. So that's true. That works. And which universities that you applied for? And is there any specific
So
reason that you accepted this one?
well, my case is different. There was no plan to come to Canada. I just prepared for IELTS in my free time, and I gave my IELTS, and then I have a thought that I just check all the universities, and I applied in University of Ottawa, in which I'm currently studying. The second one was Concordia University, that is in Montreal, and
Yeah.
the third one was University of Gulf. So yeah, I applied in the three universities, and always my priority was University of Ottawa. And
Yeah.
I got my first admit in University of Ottawa, so I didn't wait for that. But yes, I got my admit from Concordia University as well.
That's great because yeah, then that's like a very smart choice because how did you apply was one ambitious and one was that you will
Yes.
get in and one was a safe one, and that's how I think that we all should apply if we are planning any abroad. Like as we know that in universities we do have to pay a certain amount or even sending
Yes.
our that we should get admitted. So I think
Yeah.
it's reasonable that like you I also applied in 5 universities. Two were ambitious. Then, like, I applied in
Mm-hmm.
University of Ottawa, Alberta, SFU, and for safer one, I applied to Concordia and Dalhousie as well. And in the safe side, I applied for Lakehead, right? If I'm not wrong, yeah. So
Okay.
I applied in all, like that's how I got in. So, and just like you, I also have like priority list that if I get in this, I'll not
Yes.
wait for anything. So when on the day I got in this, then I was not concerned about anything. I'll be like, I'm going in there.
Yeah,
True, true.
so in my case it was like the University of Ottawa is more prestigious university than Concordia and Gulf. And the
Right.
second thing was my course, like in Ottawa I have Master of Computer Science, and in Concordia University it was Master of Computing. So
Okay, that matters. Yeah.
these both are, yeah, these both courses matters as well.
True, true. Like in University of Ottawa, I have been following one person. His name is Tim Ruscia, I think. So, did you
Okay.
do you know
No.
him? Anyway, anyhow, he's from also University of Ottawa. That's why, and he has a very good
Okay.
YouTube channel, and that's why I was like, he
Okay.
was one of the mentor in hackathons, so I know him by that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. That was just out of track question. Don't mind it.
Yeah, no problem.
uh, can you like, if you remember, can you please let us know your IELTS score or something? Like, what was your IELTS score and like what was your
Yeah, so
CGPA?
first of all, if I talk about my CGPA, so my CGPA were 9.23.
Okay.
It's the whole 4 year CGPA. That's a good score. Like, I think that I might get admission on that CGPA score, and my IELTS score was 7. I don't remember the individual scores.
Okay.
Maybe, yeah, 8 in listening, 6.5 in writing, 7 in reading, and 7 in speaking.
True, true. It's like we have a similar profile. Same was with me as well. That's true
Yeah.
because yeah, my also IELTS was like it was 10.5 and my CGPA were around 9.63 is 9.63. So similar. So yeah, that's great. And like one more thing that statement of like apart from your CGPA and apart from the profile, the one thing that matters a lot will be also your statement of purpose because we need to mention each and every point, but in as well in such a way such that it is not so long because no recruiter will have the time to see your whole 4 or 5 page SOP. So what points did you highlight on more so that you got in university, like you got in the top ones? That's what the ask is.
Yeah. So I should say that SOP is the most important thing. Most important thing. Like your profile is based on your SOP, and the very important thing about SOP is like your SOP needs to be realistic.
Okay.
They will know if you have lied in your SOP, they have known because they are really experienced people who are checking your profile. So
Right.
my advice would be just please be realistic in your SOP. Just highlight everything in brief. Like uh, it's like your career summary from
True.
the KG1 to wherever you are. It's your career summary. It's like, why did you got interested in that subject, why did you choose this field, if you have any work experience, what did you do, and what were your interests, what have your extracurricular activities. So everything that matters to your profile should be in SOP, and it should be realistic. Don't make stories like that. They make stories that what did they do, what did they do. Just explain everything in brief. That would be good. As you told me that SOP should not be very long.
Yeah.
It should be short and precise. It should be short and precise. Don't miss any important points, but just highlight everything in brief.
True. And yeah, and it like this was like the ideal thing. Like when we are making SOP, the thing is we should not lie about. And one more thing that's very common is that people usually allow someone else to write their SOP. And
Uh,
yeah,
yeah. in many cases I've seen that they just select a format and they just edit their name and some details. So that doesn't work. You know, they will
True.
know because they have seen a lot of SOPs, and they will know at the point that this is brought by someone else.
True, and yeah, that's true as well because in SOPs, like the one thing is like the projects, the educational background. Why did you do like the similar topics that you told? It should be written on your own, because when they think that you cannot write your SOP on your own, then how do we expect that you will complete this course?
Yeah, because in your courses you need to write research papers, you need to write short summaries, you need to write reports. If you
Right.
don't have any good writing capabilities, then you are not worth it.
True, true. And also one more thing that you mentioned is that in extracurricular activities that we need to write as well. So for our viewers, if you can mention that, what extracurricular activities did you do? Like, were your projects or hackathons or anything?
If you have any certificates, if you have done any volunteering, that matters a lot. And I suggest everyone that if you have done volunteering, please mention that, because in Canadian system, it is very important to have volunteering experience. It shows that you are contributing to the community, you are contributing to
Right.
the society, and this is very important here. And another thing, that if you have won any awards or any titles, if you have any certifications done, you can put in extracurricular activities as well, like just like hackathon or anything like that. If you have organized any event, so I have done many. I was a volunteer. I was a delegate in Pre-Vibrant NSIT. I have won many awards. So I just put all of these. It were like 7 to 8 bullet points that I put in my resume.
That's great. That's great. And by the Vibrant means you're talking about Vibrant Startup Summit?
Do you remember it's the Pre-Vibrant Summit,
Yeah, I was
NSIT,
there.
which was held in Mahatma. Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
it was
we would have
Mahatma
not known.
Mandir.
Yes, I think we would have not
Yeah.
known each other, but I was there as well. That's great.
Okay, so I was a delegate there. Yes.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Like now we know what was your educational background. What did you mention in SOP and all that stuff. So after coming in, the university, did your like what's your schedule? Like, are there classes? Because I think when we were having conversation, you just mentioned that I just have my class in an hour. So
Yeah.
what's your schedule? Like which classes are you taking right now?
So if I talk about my winter, I had 3 subjects, and each subject in total has 3 hours per week. So it was 9 hours per week, but it's just the class timing. But you get a lot of work. It's like assignments. You need to prepare for the lecture, and commute time as well. That
Right.
was, yeah. At that time I was going to the universities, so I was busy at that time, but not super busy. But in the fall semester I'm taking 4 subjects, and four
Yeah.
subjects in computer science is a lot of stuff.
Yes, yes. I like I have got to like when I in winter also we have to choose subjects, so it's minimum three, and I chose
Mm-hmm.
three. And when I asked my seniors that what is your advice, so they told that just stick with three. Only take
Yeah.
four if you have the confidence to take the four.
Yes. Yes.
True.
Because it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. It's a 3 hour lecture will ask more than a day to prepare.
Okay.
Yeah, and like if you are a good student, if you just really want to study, then I'm talking about that. If you don't just want to study, if you want to copy the assignments, then it's okay. But you cannot copy the assignments as well because of the plagiarism
Yeah.
policies. Yeah, and you get caught if you copy
Okay.
just a
So
line. Just
take that in mind.
they, yeah, don't ever copy from anyone's assignment.
Yeah, that's why it's master. If you are in this competitive universities, and if now also if you are copying, then it's not worth.
Yeah,
True.
yeah.
So any like if you can tell, and if it's allowed also, that which are the courses are you taking right now?
So right now I'm taking 3 subjects for my CSI course. CSI is a short term for computer science,
Okay.
Similar to that, we have ELG courses. ELG are the engineering courses, the students who are doing the electrical and computer engineering.
Right.
And the one is GNG course. GNG is the general engineering course, and there are more of type of management courses. So
Okay.
we are allowed to take 2 GNG courses. So right now I'm taking 1 GNG course and 3 CSI course. So the first one is artificial intelligence for cybersecurity applications.
Mm-hmm.
The second one is artificial intelligence for software engineering and testing.
Okay.
And the third one is the wireless ad hoc networking.
Okay.
So these 3 are CSI courses, and the GNG course is communication and influence for engineers. That's a more kind of management course.
Okay, okay, and that's great when if you can choose from multiple domains and the course, that's really
Yeah.
great. Yeah, that's true because
And
yeah,
there is one more thing that I want to mention. It's like when you complete 7 or more, I don't remember 6 or 7, but more courses in machine learning, then you in your degree it's written that you have completed your masters in machine learning or artificial intelligence.
that's great.
Even if
Means
you
yeah,
even if your course is even if your project is not in machine learning, but you get the degree with you have completed your masters with artificial intelligence.
that's amazing because
Yeah.
this sector is right now, currently like a booming sector. And in
Yeah.
your degree, if it's mentioned like this, then it would make an impact. True, that's
And
true.
there is a lot of research going on right now in University of Ottawa. There are many projects, there are many professors who are doing research on this, and you can do internships with them as well.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That's really nice because
There is a
first,
lot of opportunity
yeah,
here. There is a lot of opportunity here.
yes, and when the first you just mentioned that you can take multiple courses, that at that time only I was like, that's really great because
Yeah.
I don't know about UA right now, but the courses that I am currently enrolled in, I had to choose my courses. So I chose 2 courses because it's just the first time and I don't want to take much load. So I
Mhm.
chose 2 courses. It was Intro to ML, and second one is in Deep Learning in NLP, and the third one is a
Mhm.
mandatory one. We have to take that. It's teaching and assistant just for the TA purpose.
Okay.
So yeah, right now these are the 3 courses that I am taking as well. So I'm also interested in like I am a data engineer now, so I also want to
Mhm.
pursue the similar kind of profile in
Yeah.
future also.
But
That's why I'm
for the
also choosing
first
this.
term, yeah, but for the first term, I would advise that not to take hard subjects. It's like you need to first understand how the system works here. So same was my case. I was really not sure like how the system works there. So I took relatively easy subjects in winter, and right now I'm taking all the hard ones. So I'm prepared
Okay.
for that because I know how things work.
Yes, that's true. All the best for your future careers.
Thank you so much. You as well.
Thank you. And now it's all too much educative. So if I
Yeah.
can ask, like, what are the fun events? Because we missed everything. Okay, we will be having all the virtual seminars, all the virtual nights. You had the opportunity to be there physically. So what were the events that were
So
organized?
there were only 2 months because from
Okay.
March we also were doing at home. We were at
Oh,
home and attending all the online classes because the COVID things started in March. So we just went to university in January and February. But yeah, there were many fun events. There was a party when we just entered after, I think it was 10 January something. There was a welcome party for us, and we got
lucky.
a free pizza. We got a free pizza, drinks and muffins, cookies, everything, and we played some games and we got to know each other. So that was our welcome party, and our course is entitled with the Ottawa Carleton University. So we can take courses from Carleton as well. So there was a
Okay.
separate welcome party in Carleton as well for us.
Okay.
Uh, yeah,
Now I'm
and
jealous.
yeah, and in the winter there is a program called Winterlude. That is not a part of
Okay.
university, but it was in downtown, and that was really good. There was ice sculptures made by the raw ice, and that was really beautiful. And the downtown is so beautiful because we have 2 rivers in the middle of the city.
Oh,
So there are so many beaches, and of course the Parliament Hill, because it's the capital of Canada. So
yeah,
Parliament Hill is really beautiful. You must come to visit Ottawa because
sure.
it's a tourist destination, right?
Yeah,
And it's so
true,
beautiful.
true.
Like it's fun to live here.
Now, who knows when we can enter, because the Winter 21 batch most probably will be online, and we know that. But
Oh,
still, it's not official. It's not official, so we are still hoping that please let us allow. Let's
yeah.
see what happens. And you just told that you had the course based program, right? So
Mm.
in your batchmates, including you, did all of you get the internship or the job opportunities, or how's the job sector in computer field in Ottawa or in, let's say,
Uh,
Ontario?
yeah. So after Silicon Valley in North America, Ottawa is the biggest IT hub.
Okay.
uh, there is a big Canada city that has a lot of IT companies, and the job market is really good, and particularly in the field of software development and machine learning, it's really good because you get a lot of jobs. And my course is entitled with the co-op program.
Mm-hmm.
So right now I am doing my co-op process. So for that we need to get the work permit.
Right.
So apart from study permit, we need extra work permit so we can work for full time. It's like 40 hours per week,
Okay.
and you need to get approved your resume. And there is a UOZone. It's a portal of our university, and there is a co-op navigator. So you do everything from co-op navigator. You apply jobs there, you get interviews from there, and I think co-op process is a bit easy. It's not that hard, but
Mm-hmm.
you need to be prepared because they find lot of mistakes in your resume. It's not easy to get approved your resume, but because it should match the standard of University of Ottawa, right?
Right. Right. True.
Yeah. But if you say about the full-time jobs, like it's not really hard, but you need to do a lot of work on that.
Okay. So, like, is the concept of like you from the from the point of view you explain, it was like majority of students apply through the portal, but
Mhm.
what do you suggest? Like, can we apply off campus, like directly with the companies, or like, please?
Yeah, so like you can do both at the same
Okay.
time. You apply in the co-op navigator as well, but if like there are job posted in the co-op navigator, and you just need to click apply, 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 apply.
Okay.
And there are something 500 to 600 jobs posted in the co-op navigator, and there are a lot of jobs.
Okay. So in co-op navigator means only the students of Ottawa can access that portal,
Yes,
right?
yes, and
That's
there are
that's
good
exclusive.
chances.
Yeah.
There are good chances to get an interview if you apply on the co-op navigator, because the University of Ottawa is the middle.
Yeah. True. True. Definitely. Because
Yeah, so
if we have
if
the,
they see,
yeah.
yeah, if they see that we have the valid co-op program and we are doing from U Ottawa thing, then it gives the higher chances to get called for an interview.
Sure. That's like
Yeah.
a very plus point, because majority one
Yes.
will be opting for co-op just because like the main
Yes.
intention will be to get a good internship, or to and also to convert that internship to a full time, because that's how majority companies do hire.
Yes.
True. Thank you for sharing the knowledge with all the audience.
Yeah, and one thing, and if you have any references off campus, then you can really try that because that helps as well.
Okay, okay. And also, if you can, I think you might have also not experienced that, but if you can share us that during our co-op, when a student is interning with a company, what's the like a average hourly rate that he or she might get while during an internship or co-op?
So if you are working for part-time internship, then you will get 20 hours per week. And if you
Okay,
are doing the full-time co-op, then you get 40 hours per week. It's just
right.
like your job. It's just like your normal job.
Okay.
Yeah. And you work for full-time, and that's a really good Canadian experience that you have.
True, really means if, and I also I think if we are course based, like in our orientation also they told that in thesis based, I think they do not get a work permit, during the breaks, but
Mm.
co-op has the option to get the work permit, and then you can work as a full time. So what I wanted to ask is that, when a student is working as a full time during his
Mm.
co-op, then what can he expect as the hourly rate, in IT companies, like let's say a machine learning profile job. So if you have experience and if you know the amounts or range in which he or she can expect this.
So I don't have experience, but
Yeah.
it is mentioned in our university that you can expect $22 to $26 per hour. It
Okay.
depends on the company and depends on your profile.
Right. Right. And that's
Yeah.
like that's similar profile was in UO as well. That if you're
Mm.
interning is you can expect this, and
Yeah.
the full time range was between 65 to 75 range. As a fresher,
Mm.
just like a fresh joiner, a first year as a software engineer, you can expect for a year package of 60 to 70K. Nothing
Mm.
specific like that. So similar in Ottawa as well. If you apply for after our master as a full time.
Yeah. So like the common range is $75,000 to $80,000 per year for the software engineering, and in machine learning you get higher. It's like 85 to 90.
Yeah.
Some of my seniors have done co-op in Nokia, Ericsson,
BlackBerry.
then Sienna is a good company, and all these companies are in Canada. I told you about that. It's a big IT
Yes.
hub there. There are so many big companies there.
That's true. That's true. So yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, you can expect a good jobs. You can expect like a good opportunities. It's not like in
Yes.
this pandemic also, but there are job opportunities. We need to just apply for them. True.
Yeah, and they get co-op in the government as well. In the government profile as well. It's a CRA, that is the Canada Revenue Agency. There are so many students who are doing co-op there. So that's a very good thing. And some of them are get hired for the full time. So it's just like you don't have to find a job if you really do good job in your co-op work term.
That's true. One of my friend also, he was my senior and he got in CRA as well. So yeah, we have
Yeah.
he's in Dalhousie. He's
Mm.
in Halifax. So yeah,
Okay.
we are usually in contact, and that's how I know him. Yeah, that's it
Yeah.
then. And also, like, due to this, when students were expecting to join this fall, but now they have deferred to winter. So I was lucky enough to convert my internship to a job, but there may be some students who cannot find a job between this gap, because I think majority of companies will expect, to sign a bond of 1 year or something.
Mm.
So what do you suggest that, in this span of time that they have free, what should they more focus on so that they get upgraded?
So if they don't do a job, they can work for freelancing work, and
Okay.
that counts in experience as well, because you are doing some projects, right? You are doing a
Right.
work related to your field. So don't let that gap come between your profile, because if you are doing your freelance at that time, you can mention in your resume, and that doesn't create a gap.
Definitely. Sure. That
Yeah.
means like,
And
yeah.
yeah, and if you don't do any freelancing work, you can do some research on some things. You can write some research papers, because that thing means a lot here. If you have done a research, that is a big thing here.
Okay, that's true. Okay.
you
That's
can
a
you
new
can
thing.
you can do some research. Yes, you can write some research papers, even if they are very basic, but it's your work, right? You can
Right.
mention it in your resume.
True. True.
Do some certifications. There are
Certification
really good
courses are great.
certifications.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, you can do that as well.
That really helps. Like, do not show your gap when,
Mm.
we are getting a gap. Just convert them into either a freelancing job or
Yeah,
just get a certificate, and not like, get any certificate. Just go for the certification course. I'm not so much
yeah,
inclined towards certification because I don't do all that. So I am not that certificate guy. Okay. So I usually like to do
no,
projects. Yeah.
yeah. It's just like, don't sit idle. Do something related to your work. You just don't sit idle and do something. Like, you can do anything. Just research is good. You can develop mini projects on your own, but it should be like related to your field or your study or your work. That's it.
True.
Yeah.
Well, that's it. like an answer. Thank you so much, Priya, for spending your time and joining in this call.
Yeah, thank you so much to you, because you are doing a good work, because all the students who are coming here, they need a lot of guidance, and without guidance you are not able to progress, right?
Right,
So
right, right.
you just need to think of like every possible situation and come up with a solution. Like if this happened, then what should I do? You should
True.
need you should know all the answers. Like you should be prepared for this whole big thing.
Let's all the best for all the future journey that you have, and
You as well. And
hope to meet you soon.
yeah, I wish that we meet soon, and let's discuss our career as well.
Sure. Thank you so much.